I'm Aaron Matus here with another D1 Extra, joined today by Derek Grice, San Diego State's Executive Associate Athletic Director, to talk a little bit about the ongoing progress of the multi-purpose and football facility being built in Mission Valley. $310 million project at last check, I should say, Derek, and 35,000 seat capacity on schedule as of last check to be ready for fall of 2022. I guess I should start there. Is that still the case? And how good does it feel as you're inching closer and closer and closer to opening this thing up?
Yes, you can still say that. That is accurate. We're still on pace and we're still within budget. Two things I like to, we like to stress every time we talk about the project. Excited, and it's been an amazing 14 months since we broke ground in August, and we've made it's been filled with tremendous milestones and some major accomplishments. Everything from starting the demolition of the old stadium, SDSU stadium, and to our first initial footings pour, beginning precast concrete. And we had reached another milestone this week as we just finalized the last piece of precast in the East Upper Bowl, which completes our concrete and bowl work, and we'll move into putting in chairback seats starting in mid-December.
Give me a little bit of your day-to-day and your team's day-to-day right now. We're within a year of the stadium opening. So obviously you just gave us a list of construction projects that are still happening and going on and continue to happen. But how else I should say, are you guys preparing to be hosting events here within months?
That's a really good point. My days, it was one of the benefits of the job. No 2 days are the same. As I wear my hat here, I oversee all aspects of design, construction, the operational planning, but also in charge of the revenue generation for the project. I work closely with our senior leadership design team on the Mission Valley as a whole, as we look at not only the stadium, but the Innovation District, residential retail as well. And then I also oversee our multimedia rights partnership with JMI Sports. So a lot of different hats, a lot of different things, but each day we come in and look for ways to continue to make this the most unique stadium experience for all of our fans. A multi-purpose venue that could be utilized 365 days a year. And we truly want to create and think we have created the best college football atmosphere in the country.
I want to get back to that 365 days a year point because we're very interested in that. But just personally, how does it feel right now as you get closer? Are you super excited? Are you just, I can't wait to get this thing over with at this point?
No, I am super excited. I'm excited about the work and that's been done to this point. We have an incredible team led by our contractors at Clark and our architects at Gensler. They've done a phenomenal job. All of the people here internally at SDSU, both on the main campus side of the house and the athletic side of the house, worked really hard to get us to where we are and the challenges that we've had to overcome through this project to get us where we are. So I am one that looks forward and continues to look for how do we continue to make it great, and how do we make sure that we deliver on our promise to create that best college game day atmosphere on September 3rd, 2022. So we're always looking forward, but it is nice to every once in a while look back, particularly when you're standing in that bowl and looking around at all the work that's been done and feel the pride for what your team has accomplished.
So you mentioned the 365 days a year, and I did want to touch upon that. Can you tell us where you guys are at right now in terms of filling this stadium outside of football games and how you plan on keeping things fresh and keeping it full?
One of the things we wanted to do is we made sure that this is a hub of activity for all of San Diego and a community asset, not just for SDSU football games, but for all events. We have partnered with Spectra as our venue management company. They will be booking the facility and operating the facility for us. We've had some amazing conversations with promoters, with the local professional teams and other other organizations about bringing their events here. And we know that this is going to be a place that people in San Diego come to watch everything from college football games, professional soccer, to concerts and dirt shows, those types of things. Those conversations have gone really well. Feel really good about where we are. We've got to get some ink to paper on a few things and look to make some major announcements here in the coming weeks.
How far out can you comfortably start booking some of that stuff, if you can share that?
We're booking now. We've got several holds on the books where we've got a few things that we're working through that we need to get to contract that we won't share until we actually get those completed. But we feel really good about where we are and the types of events and what the events that we're attracting here in San Diego. And we think that the people here in this community are really excited about that as well.
The football team's got to be excited to play back in this stadium, a little bit closer to home as well. Got to ask, how do you balance building what's going to be a facility for football games and for your home games, but also making sure it's versatile for some of these other events that you guys are hoping to host and are currently scheduling?
You know, I think it's a lot of just being intentional in our design and what we're doing. I think with my background, I was lucky enough when I was in Atlanta to be a part of Atlanta United's first 10 games there at Bobby Dodd Stadium. And what I found is that intimate environment that Bobby Dodd created an amazing atmosphere for the Atlanta United. And I think that traveled over to when they went into Mercedes-Benz Stadium. So if you think in the context of just looking at a stadium and what you can do to create the best possible sight lines, but also create a very intense atmosphere for game day. For our fans who've been to Viejas Arena, where our basketball team is so successful, it has a lot to do with the show, which is our student section. They are legendary. They bring the energy every night, and we wanted to create that same atmosphere at the stadium. What we found is there's some crossover in how you do that by creating a really intimate environment, great sight lines. That in itself translates really well to everything, from monster truck shows to concert sightlines. But we wanted to make sure that we provided the infrastructure there to do that. The infrastructure is there for our building to host great concert, but it's also there for us to have a professional soccer tenant should the opportunity arise. We've left voids for the canopy. We've made sure that we put all the conduit in place. We made the adjustments to allow us to have additional camera locations. We created premium spaces, and we created an environment for everybody at their level of to go to see an event. What we found is people don't just want to sit for 3 hours and watch a game anymore. Some people do. We want to create an amazing environment for that, but we also want to create an experiential space. That starts with your food service. That starts with your premium spaces. That starts with your artwork and those types of things. We want to create something that when they're there, they're enjoying it no matter where they are.
You mentioned there's going to be exciting announcements as you get closer and closer to the grand opening next fall. And I understand there's one that you guys are ready to let the secret out today.
Yeah, absolutely. Today's the day that we made the announcement for our first founding partner. Sequan Resort and Casino has been a community landmark here in San Diego for the last 38 years. It is one of the premier resort destinations here in San Diego, and they are our first founding partner. Going to work with us. We're going to name the Piers, which is probably the most unique premium space in the entire stadium. And then they're also going to name our Founders Club, which is our highest end premium space, which includes 4 Founders Suites and 48 seats in a Founders Club, all inclusive for all events. It's an amazing space for an amazing organization with Saquon. We're really excited about that partnership and all the opportunities that it's going to bring for us.
I understand you guys are going for something that isn't being done a lot around the country, but is there a blueprint out there or a poster child of a recently opened stadium or even an old one that's doing this very well right now? Are you able to kind of piggyback off anyone?
I wouldn't say that we would pinpoint any particular one. We did do a lot of due diligence. We traveled and we toured a lot of facilities. We looked at a lot of the new college stadiums that have been done very, very well. We found ourselves going to a lot of professional facilities too. And what we found for us in looking at what our clientele and what our fans and the people here in the San Diego community were looking for was a little bit different than some places. So we were able to partner with the right people. Gensler, as our architect, has done a phenomenal job of thinking outside the box in ways and creating a stadium experience that is unique to this community. So we also found that the professional stadiums were ones that we leaned towards more in looking for that experience that we wanted to create from a premium aspect. Every one of our seats in our stadium is going to be chairback. That's just not something you see at the collegiate level. We also wanted to make sure that we were building a facility that was right to host a professional soccer team should the time and opportunity come. And we dove into that and felt like we've done that with this venue.
One thing you guys are doing that caught our attention here in the office, which tells you about some of the conversations we have, is the food. And your first 8 vendors are all local to San Diego or the area, giving some local flair to what it sounds like is supposed to be a very local experience for the community. So how did you guys come up with that idea, and how'd you come up with 8 local vendors that would partner with you on this?
It's a lot of hard work, man. I got to tell you, we had to go eat a lot of food, and it's the tough part of the job, Aaron. For us, we really wanted to lead local. We've preached it. I've probably said it a few times through this interview, is that we really wanted to build a sense of place that belonged here in San Diego and embodied the San Diego community. And we felt like the only way to do that was to really work with and be hyper local with our restaurant partners. So for our criteria, we needed to find the popular local restaurants that have that following, that create great food, but that can be scalable for a stadium, that can be adaptable, and food that will translate to an event environment. And I think we did that. I actually am really excited to have been part of that process. I think we nailed it. We're really excited about that partnership. More importantly, our partners are excited about the other partners that are in the venue with them. The response from our community and the people here in San Diego has been outstanding.
And if I read correctly, these restaurants will almost have a brick and mortar building outside the stadium and then offer kind of a food truck experience on game days.
So we will also have a food truck area that's outside of these. Are brick and mortar locations for us. San Diego is a community of communities. It's made up of neighborhoods, and we see each of these food areas as embodying that, as being like that. And so these restaurant partners will be in brick and mortar locations that have kind of a alla fresca outdoor dining kind of setup to it. But we also have a food truck park that we have in the northeast corner of the stadium. We know that food trucks don't necessarily serve a lot of people on a game day, but it allows us to change the environment, change the experience from game to game. We can bring in some food vendors that maybe not necessarily would go in a brick and mortar. We can bring in additional vegan options or other options for our fans to give them something a little bit different, something maybe they particularly are looking for.
Well, it sounds delicious, and the project certainly sounds exciting. We're excited to follow along, and best of luck as you lead up to fall 2022 to open what's going to be a beautiful new facility in San Diego.
Thank you, Aaron. I really appreciate it, and thank you for what you do for college athletics.